Moving on. Chapter 2. Plainview, Texas, USA. Present day. A phone rang. Not an unusual occurrence in most households, but a rare event in the Finkles. Since they infrequently socialized and had no actual hobbies or civic causes, their phones never rang once the laws against unsolicited telemarketing had taken effect. By asking to be put on the no-call list of every salesperson who dialed them up, they had successfully eradicated almost all contact with the outside world. Bill answered, responding after a beat. "I understand. I'm sorry to hear that. We'll be by to pick up the keys and sign the documents tomorrow." Marcy looked up from her recreational typing as he hung up the phone, explaining, "Uncle Phineas died and has left us his home and all contents therein." That was the legal term. His funeral was yesterday, though it seems the family forgot to call us. That was Bob. Bob was Bill's only brother. When Bill was a child and less of a butthole, he spent his summers for at least a week with his great Uncle Phineas and lovely Aunt Gladys. They would help Gladys in the garden, tinker in Uncle Phineas's wood shop, and attend country fairs with their kin. With Aunt Gladys's sudden passing several decades before, the visits stopped altogether. And though Bill felt small pangs of guilt over the dropped relationship, he continued on with life, graduated from college, and married his college sweetheart, Marcy. Both were fair-skinned with receding chins and unflatteringly similar hairstyles. This was not planned, but had evolved from proximity. One would have thought at first blush perhaps they were related, but upon reviewing birth records, one would have to concede they were not. They were simply cut from the same damp, colorless cloth. If it weren't for Bill slowly losing his thin hair on top, he and Marcy could be mistaken for the same person. They were married in a simple $30,000 ceremony, dutifully paid for by Marcy's father, who didn't smile once during the entire savings-draining event. There was a mariachi band playing at the reception, the only original zest to a predictable day, followed by a hollow wedding night and a honeymoon that is documented, but not really remembered nor cherished by either party. In due course, Bill responsibly got a job as a financial analyst at Withers and McNulty. Marcy abused her 4-year degree by taking a series of unsatisfying positions in business. One thing Marcy could do well was type. Not original works, mind you. Simply reading one thing on one page and typing the exact same thing onto another page. In more pathetic persons, a fully acceptable hobby, and one at which Marcy excelled. Her cold and blank exterior made her a boring mystery to most, a mystery too boring about which to muse. This made it difficult for people to know her and like her, or dislike her, or remember her, except for Bill, who did have a fondness for his wife. They had, as a couple and separately, very few friends. Their neighbors, the Sanders, were their only real friends, and that, at best, was tenuous, like most adult friendships. For the most part, they and the Sanders enjoyed one another's company to keep up with the Joneses. They had monthly dinners where they transparently, conversationally compared their lives to one another's. "Ah, the Sanders got a new SUV. The Finkles shall have one as well, but a better color with custom leather seats." If both couples could have just whipped out their theoretical dicks, a shared couple's penis, if you will, at one of their few social functions, comparing sizes while pissing on one another, this would have been a better representation of their actual relationship. So yes, in the suburbs, they were best friends. As children, neither Bill nor Marcy was very remarkable. They both appeared exactly one time in their high school yearbooks, the class picture. And though they weren't virgins upon their college courtship, neither had a varied or exciting sexual history. Marcy lost her virginity in the 11th grade to a tuba player in the band. It was a very rote, missionary coming together of genitals that wasn't satisfying for either party or even particularly correct. Unfortunately, Marcy had been, as she was now, totally unremarkable. Bill, on the other hand, went on the age-old sacred quest for sex that almost every teen boy experiences, at least in the films of his childhood. He tried a variety of plans and approaches, hatched under the bemused and often misleading guide of his older brother, Bob. Bob, it seems, had always resented his little brother, and time had done nothing to rectify that relationship. Bob thought Bill was a complete ass, and he was. They both were, and their father and grandfathers were asses as well. Bill was rather unassuming as an adult, but he did possess some vague quality that inspired immediate amnesia in most gentle souls. There was no obvious reason. People just forgot him. They served him his food, took his money for dry cleaning, and went on. He wasn't rude. He wasn't personable. He wasn't ugly. He wasn't handsome. He, like Marcy, just was. All in all, they were the perfect candidates for time travel.